Hey there, it's Chris. Welcome back to the next part of the Kai Schulin project, where last time we did a lot of stuff and finally we hardened all this. Legs are now in, they're done, they're not going anywhere. Even this little stunner cord. And we do have a top that can come on and off. So we made some good progress in that regard. We're looking nice. She's lost a little weight. And this time we're finally going to start focusing not on legs, we're moving up to the shirt area, which is good. So we can finally start putting a different side image on the sidebar over here. So it's going to be nice to do that. However, before we can start the shirt, we need to come back here and figure out that camo. Because if you've seen the very first session I'd done, the pre-planning session, Mark 00, first on the playlist there, you'll know one of the things I want to have is I want to make this poncho, this camouflage here, I want that to be removable so you can see what's under it, you can see what's over it, take it on and off. And one of the issues we have going on is you can see where it comes over the chest, where it comes over this part, it then kind of concaves in and around, which means you can't pull it straight up and down. That will be problems. So we need to solve that before we can start working on this. So what are we going to do for that? Now, I'm going to apologize. This is going to be very badly drawn stuff. But as long as it gets the point across, plus it's printer paper with one of these mechanical pencils, so this is not exactly the greatest drawing material that you can possibly get. But as long as it gets the point across, we're going to be fine. But let's say we're starting with, comes down, she has a chest, comes in, come that, we get legs. That comes around, you get the back, bam. So this is hers, put a belt down here, if you can see. That's effectively what we're dealing with. Let me darken it so you can see. So this is effectively, and we're going to have our camo then kind of comes down, it's going to wrap over, and we need it to come down and in to match what's in the other, to match kind of what's in this image. So that's kind of what we're dealing with. We can't pull that up because that's going to come around the neck, that's going to come back down here, and we're never going to be able to pull that back out. So what I'm thinking of doing is, if we come here, you can see she has a very large chest. It's a very anime thing. It's rated T for teen. They do this type of stuff. It's what that part is. So what we're going to do, I think, on the shirt side here is we're going to kind of do same general form. We're going to come down and we're going to shrink the chest a little bit on the shirt side here. Bring that, legs come down, that comes over in, back. So we're going to have a smaller chest coming down. Again, let's darken it so we can actually see what's going on. So that's going to be here. We have a belt that comes up. And then when we get to our camouflage part, we're going to take that, we're going to run that over. We can take that straight down to wherever it needs to go. On the other end of it, we will then, on the camouflage part, on the poncho side of things, so we come back, we're actually making the poncho part. We're then going to make a fake chest come out a little further, and then that will come back in to nothing. So this would be, so in the end, her undershirt is going to have a smaller chest, and we come on top and we add the camo, it will be the full thing, and it'll look something-ish like that. So this, we come up top, this, I probably want to shrink a little bit to make this whole scheme work in the end. And it should. There's no reason why it shouldn't. However, before we do anything that has to do with that, we might just want to go ahead and, I don't know, do something about this midriff section, because that's not right. And so from here, we start adding back to what we already have. And it's going to be one of those, we just keep kind of adding to this, don't necessarily push into that, into the block we have down there. And eventually we'll be able to take this in, out, and it will be all in good. But yeah, gotta reset a number of these things. because we cut all of that out and we need it back. And then once we get this, then we need you to go back a little bit. Yeah, so kind of get this part back and in again. And then we can start figuring out, yeah, we'll have to resculpt this. Oh, this isn't too bad. This is already smaller than what that's showing. So we're not too far off of where I kind of want to be. And then once that's done, then the shirt itself isn't that bad. Then we have that chest guard, those couple straps. She has the knife kind of going under her arm there. Then we start getting a couple more of those details. But whereas the legs took like, I think that was what, 13 episodes or 13 sessions to get those legs finally done. This should be done within like 2 or 3. This should go by significantly faster than what we have done at this point. So the long, slow, drawn-out part should have worked its way through the system at this point in time. And that much is good. Okay, so now I kind of want to push this thing in. But I don't want it to... Yeah, this is going to be the trick. We want you to stick to this. We don't want you to stick to that. Now, the good thing is none of this is hardened on here. So I should still be able to have a really good job of kind of remolding all this in. And the nice thing is, it is the full shirt going all the way. This isn't like Bang, where I have it's like an exposed core. It's not like she's wearing a swimsuit or something or any of this. All of this will be generally smoothed out in the end. So that much should be nice. We just need to get it to work. You know, rather than take stuff off of there to do this, why don't I take my friend here and just mix myself up a little bit of this to work with. Whoa, that is not the thickness I thought. I forgot we had gone thinner before. All I'm trying to do is save my fingers some work here. I don't need to make this thing super thin. Okay, now ultimately the shirt, you can see, kind of goes just over the belt a little bit. But for right now, if I can get it kind of to that belt, that would be fine, because I do need to blend everything up here and still keep the correct form on her. And it's going to help to be able to pull this, kind of get this on, kind of pull it on and off a couple times so we know it's not sticking to the core in here. I'm already doing really bad with cameras, so that's awesome. And I'm wondering, through all of the shirt stuff, if I take you and bring you over, yeah, you can see kind of up top there between the straps, you can still see this through the shirt. So I don't want to lose that line completely. But it does kind of feel nice to be doing something that's not on the legs right now. It's actually something, even if it's just putting things back at the moment, it's not doing leg stuff. It means forward progress has been made, or at least is in the process of being made. I lost the camera. Okay, we can still do derpy stuff with the arms. They can kind of keep going up and down. They don't matter. Because again, as you can see on the side image, the arms are going to be cut out of this whole thing in the end. They are going to be a separate project altogether. So once again, we don't really need to worry about that stuff. But the arms are super helpful because as I start putting detail on here, I can use them to kind of lift up and down and whatnot. So they will still serve their purpose just not the ultimate purpose yet. Okay, so let's see. We once again are not centered at all. Okay, I want to. I do want to wrap this around a little bit. Yeah, we need to reform what we had. Like I said, on one hand, I could have just done the straight cut across there and manually added the bump in the middle, but by doing it the way I did, at least now the bump is attached to the legs themselves, which will hopefully make it all stronger. Let me just take this dang piece of clay off the arm. It doesn't have to be there. Just take this little bit off right now. Okay, so we're getting back. We're getting back there. I keep knocking this thing off the table. Ooh, it doesn't want to come off. Okay, so we're stuck on the one side. Okay. Yeah, this is going to wind up being a trial to get this all to work. But we're getting there. We're getting there as long as... Yes, the first time getting it off is the hardest. And now any subsequent time should start getting easier and easier to do as it starts realizing that it's not going to connect. It does get nicer. Even if we keep kind of pushing in, every subsequent time does get slightly nicer in the end to work with. Okay. All right. So we're kind of already back in there, which is good. Okay, so now I want to get the bottom of the shirt kind of in here, which means I want to roll out a little more clay. Back over here. Let's give ourselves actually some clay to work with. All right, and I just want to knead this out a couple times. I just threw a fresh piece in there. And okay, so on you, I don't really want to make you any wider than you are. Again, you're still trying to be a petite character. Actually, let me send this thing through the... That's not long enough to get around, so let me send this through, fold it in half, send it through here one more time. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to get some of this scrap off the bottom edge, so at least I'm starting with something kind of clean. This part doesn't have to be perfect at all. I'm just getting the fluff off. Okay, you can go back. You can stay here. And all I'm really looking for is to get this kind of to there. Once again, I'm going to stick the seam in the back, because if anything goes wrong, odds are the back will not be viewed as much as the front. Getting you down there, getting you here. Okay, and actually we don't need even like half of this thing. Because all we're making is a little flare out on the shirt and nothing more than that. Our goal is not to really widen a whole lot. It's just, again, we're making a shirt and nothing more. So that is just to give it a little bit of a flare. And we're being really bad on camera time. I'm not a good videographer right now. I need to click things off of the video. Yeah, so just like it took just a couple quick changes, a couple simple changes to turn these from legs into pants, just like really once you put the belt on, all of a sudden these become pants and not just legs going down. It's going to take just a couple quick, you can already see this is starting to feel more like a shirt than just like an upper body, torso, chest, whatever. So it doesn't take much to get that transformation kind of started, which is nice. So hopefully this goes by a little more expediently than the legs did. Thankfully, it's only need to do one side on this. It's not a two-sided thing, although when we get to the arms, arms are kind of like the legs. There are two of them. But here, there are two. Once we get one done, we're good. We're in it. We're in there. We finished. So just need to kind of smooth this whole thing out so it feels like it's all there. Now up front, I think I need to do a little bit of carving because it feels, something doesn't feel right up front here. Let's see, I can go get you back over. Yeah, everything is just, I can see in here I'm coming out and then down. That looks like it's almost more of a straight down, so there's a little bit of playing I gotta do on that one. But let's get, really the goal I think of this session right now is just kind of get the general form down. I can get the general form. If I get that, I can start doing the striations. Those are actually gonna be really quick. And then hopefully after that, then we'll start the chest guard and whatnot and get those details going. But really, if we get our general form kind of getting in here this session, that starts to put me in a happier place. And now that that's in there, once again, yeah, arm. Okay, this is why I was supposed to keep stuff on the arm, so it keeps you in place. Ah. All right, I stuck you too. You're stuck over here. I can feel it. What are you stuck to? What are you stuck to? All right, nice and gentle, nice and gentle. Okay, we're out. We can now see we're coming over just that little bit on the edge. That's kind of what we want. So what we want is this to kind of stay down when we do that. Which again, if we take this on and off several times, that will work better with each subsequent time we do this, which would be very helpful. Okay, so I came up just a little bit short on this one area on the side. That's fine, we can add a little bit. And then just blend it in. I can always trim off excess later. Just get the main part done now. So with this, I see that's going over. What is our full? This one's not showing anything in that regard. So maybe on you we do have you stop a little bit in there. I can add just a little bit to the stomach area here, just so it doesn't look like it's going whoop. That doesn't look right. Add a little bit more to this. And we're back to basically blocking out a character again. Remember those first like 2 or 3 sessions? Hey, we back there for a few minutes. Only this time, when I didn't care about how I was modeling the chest, I kind of do need to care about that now. Something solid was in there. I mixed in some clay that wasn't quite pure. Okay, how's that? That's already looking a little better. That's already looking a little better. I can bring just a little bit more off of the back here. This will skinny. That'll kind of make the waist look a little skinnier, which is not a bad thing. Okay. Just smooth some of this stuff out. And then we'll start working on getting overall proportions correct. That's a little much. We can get that off. We can get this off. Oh, did it again. Oh, come on. We don't like it when this happens. I want you to come off. All right, we're in there. We're in there. Bam. Okay. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So now, let's see. Oop, come on, computer. Hey, there we go. What's happening with our shirt? So our shirt is actually kind of come around up there a little bit. So it's not that I'm necessarily intending to cut this part off the back here. It just, for the shirt purpose, I'm not going to need that clay over there. It's going to give me a nice little visual to work with, and it's going to be kind of the same on you. That's going to come off over here. And I don't care about that part being 100% yet, because again, if I make that too much, I can always cut more off of that. But this gives us a start on where that shirt is going to be. And the arms are still very easy to get in and out, which makes me feel good. I kind of like having this in here just so the clay doesn't get stuck inside somehow and dumb stuff happens. So there is still value in having those in, even if they're not really doing anything. Okay, so I guess now we kind of do want to start getting somewhere on the chest. And again, the chest is sticking out kind of about what I want, maybe just a little bit more on this, but I don't want to go too much more. We need enough so at least when the straps go down here, it feels like they're going to be under something. Otherwise, when you put the chest guard on, that will pop it out just a little bit. Not much, but it will pop it out just a little. But let's see, we can add maybe just a little bit more to this. And the good thing is in every image that I have, the shirt evenly kind of just goes right over. It doesn't split the two sides into separate. So yes, there's a little bit of something on between here, but it's not going to get any more than that. So I don't need everything to be 100% perfect, nice, good. Do have a little bit of playroom. And we really don't see anything on the underarm here either, because this part is all covered up, so I don't really need to worry about detailing out that either. So a lot of the areas on this that you could see are actually pretty well hidden. Okay, that said, do we have at least a little bit of coming? No, we're a little kind of flat across, and it's not that, we're not that far off of what it's supposed to be. And let's see, I'm pushing things down, so whenever I'm pushing something down, make sure this can come back up so it doesn't stick in badly. Come up, it's a little more rounded on the bottom. Getting this part right would be super helpful. That's not too bad. Okay, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Come on and off nice and easy. Yes, we do. Okay, part of this issue is this little guy is moving because, again, it's not attached to anything. Although this is coming in and out of the base easier than it was before, which is nice, because this was having a hard time going into the coil on the bottom at the start, and now it seems to be doing it much more efficiently. Either that, or this head one got, or this wire just got pushed up altogether, and it's just not hooking into the bottom to begin with. Although if that's there, there's not much more down the wire can go, so I have to assume it actually is hooking into where it's supposed to hook into. All right, so we have that, we have that. We do come in, so not bad, not bad. We do need a little bit of, actually no, we don't even really need to make the collar. The collar is a separate entity that goes on here. Does this one show it any better? Maybe if I come here and we zoom in a little bit. Yeah, collar. No, it is kind of collar, kind of goes up and in. So we kind of do want to get some of this neck going. This is me not doing prep work before this session. It happens. Every now and again, it does happen. So it's not a terribly huge neck and collar that goes on here, but it would be nice to have something getting started. And this is already ahead of what I usually do, because usually the last 3 models I've done have all had scarves, and they've all been kind of attached kind of to the neck area in one way, shape, or another. So usually I do the face, then I do the head and the neck kind of in one kind of go. Having the neck area now attached to the torso area is actually not the way I've been doing this recently. So this is a little interesting. It almost feels kind of backwards trying to do this right now, but which is fine, because again, there's going to be a clear break between this and the head, so I can just make this part flat at the top of the shirt and just have the neck go into that, and that'll be fine. So this is not a huge deal. Not a big worry that it's going to connect nicely, not connect nicely, any of that. It's going to be fine. All right, I'm missing some clay back here. Okay, it's looking pretty not okay, but that's fine. We're getting there. We're getting there. We get to go through this awful stage before we get to the good stuff. And while we have this dead air time going on right now, this video is airing on Thursday. Tomorrow, I'm going to be heading out to my race coming up over the weekend. So I'm going to say there's a decent chance there's not going to be a video posted on Saturday, because I will be doing an ultra marathon on Saturday. So this is probably going to be it for this week. And then next week we should start getting back into the swing of things and hopefully get this shirt done and start moving on from there. But as of right now, when I'm making this, it's currently the weekend before, but as of right now, I wouldn't plan on there being a video on Saturday. I'm going to be doing other things, and there are 100% more things on my mind right now. So this is going to be the 4th one of these ultramarathons I've done. I have done, I said, the 3 before. One of them was dead flat in a bog. 2 of them have been on mountains, and this one is going to be on bigger mountains. So this should be the hardest one of all of them coming up. And I do kind of need to focus a little bit on that. So that said, tomorrow I might go and put up, actually no, I probably would have already put up a video on the map reading stuff again whenever that comes out. I'll probably do that earlier in the week if I'm going to do that. There also might be just like, I might do that. I might do a video on what kind of equipment I'm taking with me for this. But again, this is kind of water on the bridge because by this point it would have already been posted. So not really much I can say on that one right now. Same time, still not sure if I'm 100% ready for this race. I'm crossing my fingers. I feel like I'm not in as great shape as I have been in the past. But at the same time, if ever I go out and just kind of do, I've done now a couple quick runs in the last couple weeks. I've been doing a lot of kind of zone 2 stuff throughout most of the summer. And now to finish off these last couple weeks, I've been doing faster workouts to kind of reopen the blood, like the, I would say the arteries, veins, capillaries, all that is kind of re-burst those open again. Whereas the zone 2 is mostly aimed at creating more mitochondria and more energy producing in the cells. So having energy producing is nice. Being able to access it is good too. So I'm doing quicker things just to, yeah, enlarge and make bigger my blood flow area, which may be good, may not. But at the same time, the times I've been posting on those match where I usually am every other year at this time, kind of accounting for heat, humidity, time of year, all that. I'm pretty much where I usually am. So I shouldn't be too worried about what's going on. It's going to work in the end, but I don't know. I'm still very up in the air how doable versus not doable this one's gonna be. It's different course, never seen the course before, and I think that's adding a little bit to the nerve factor going in. Okay, actually, even just looking at this, I have a little bit of space between the chest, and they have nothing going on that, so I'm just gonna fill this completely. I thought there was a little something because they had the chest guard on there, but the guard's really not doing anything. It's more just kind of covering the one side. So yeah, I was all ready to start adding the striations to this, but it's like, no, we're close, but we're not 100% there. It's like I could do one of these types of things. We have sorry, because where are we time-wise? We're at that time-wise, so it's not a short video, it's not a long one, so and from here it's really just, it looks like it opens up a little bit up top here, so we get, where's my other pointer? I think here's where I want, the very few times I like having this little guy. It looks like it kind of comes down, kind of about to where it is on the chest there. And it comes around and comes over. It looks like that's kind of generally, might even come down a little further than that. Yeah, but if we have that, and then we just start adding these guys. And again, unfortunately, it's not just make a line and done. There is, actually, if there's a little bit of thickness to it, I could use maybe this guy. And that will add myself a little bit of thickness to it. But it does not drag very well from the start. I'm just kind of scoring it real quick from the start here. Just to kind of get a feel for how this is going. This is one of those where I probably should say, oh, I'll see you back here in a few minutes, but it's only going to take a few minutes to kind of get this. And it's not one of those ridiculously short sessions either. Or what I could just do is maybe do this front part. Then I'll come back and I can do the back half off camera. And then when we come back, it'll be time for starting to add the details on here. Okay, so if we have that, now I feel like I need something wider than that one. You're wider. Because I want to push in less. Well, that kind of takes away the view of anything. Okay, this is going to take a couple tries to figure out what technique is going to look right. No, that's not really doing it either. It might just be have to go kind of push one side, push the other. We're going to figure this out. It's going to come. Not that that side of the chest means anything. That's going to be the one part that's covered. Although, the nice thing about this is it is very neat about what it's doing. I think that's what I just did. So yeah, this is kind of working. It's kind of working. I would like to be able to get far enough that I can get at least a decent image to kind of end this whole thing with. We don't need to go a full hour's worth on this one. We're just kind of now doing this over and over and over and over and over again. You'll get the idea, but at the same time, it'd be nice to leave on a halfway decent looking image. Kind of have that, and I think what I did before then was after that's in, we go bring this down, we can reestablish some things. Bam, bam, bam. We got that in. We got this in. It is kind of giving the view the feeling of what she has going on there. I could see we can do a little bit of. We have some time for going for. We're only like 45 minutes right now, so let me take a quick peek-see at some ideas on what we can do for texture, because that looks like it has a little bit of texture to it. So let's see what we can do in that regard. Let's just get ourselves a little piece to work with. Alright, so just doing how's that do for adding a little bit of texture? It kind of gets a little bit of something going. That's not too bad. How about if we just do scraping lines? Is that any better? What does that give us? That's a lot finer. This gives more of kind of a holy kind of look. This is barely kind of hitting it. How's this side? That's not terrible. It gives, again, a little something to it. It's not just... But I am kind of feeling a little bit of that. I think the other wire brush that's in here is going to be a little much. I do have this guy as well. Actually, that's... Yeah, I think I'm kind of feeling more this than the striation that's in there. If I were to take that, bring you up, that does add a little bit to that. Again, that just collapsed every one of these things again, so we need to re-add. Should have known that was going to happen. I should have known. Center one survived. None of the others did. Okay, there we go. I think that starts to bring us... everything was off camera. I think that starts to bring us to our happy place down here. I think I'm just going to stop right there. We're going to continue... I can continue doing the rest of this off camera because you've now seen what's going on. You know what's kind of happening on that. So I'll do the rest of the shirt off camera. And the next time I said it's very likely not going to be on Saturday because I'm going to be hating myself most of that day and my life choices. Race starts at something like 6 in the morning. It ends something like 9 o'clock at night. I believe the course closes. And I believe something like half the people who start never finish, give or take. I think if it rains, it's considerably higher than that. So we're gonna see how this goes. I've never failed completely erase yet. I feel like I've come close. The Palmerton one I just did earlier in the summer, the heat exhaustion almost got me on that. That shouldn't be an issue this time. But yeah, we're gonna see how this goes and how my body likes or dislikes my life choices up to this point. But after that, we're gonna come back. We're gonna go put the kind of the rest of the detail things on here. It's probably gonna be like maybe 2 sessions or something, and all of this will be done. Harden all of that. And then we'll figure out where to go from there. Like I said, we could do the ammo stuff. We could do the arms. I could do the rifle, which would be nice. That'll help inform where this arm is going to. I could just want to do the head next. Although, head is probably going to be after poncho? Head is probably going to be after the camo. Just in case the hair comes down on top of it. Let's see. What do we have? Yeah, you can see the back of the hair on here is going to come down on top of the camo. So we need the arms done before we put the camo stuff on, before we do the head stuff. Rifle can be done separate because that's just going to probably be a piece of wood that's going to be plopped in her hand and just leaning against. So I can do that whenever. But yeah, we still have some options. We'll figure it out when we get there. But until we do, this is where we are. We now have progress. We're starting to look more like a character. Actually, we're very much starting to look more like a character, which is making me feel good. It's not just legs. It's actually turning into something. And yeah, hopefully we build on this success, and next time we'll go from there. And until then, enjoy.